Hi there, Leo. Thank you for joining me here at the Lightroom Forecast. This is your reading for this week leading up to the lovely new moon on the 13th in Pisces. A very Neptunian time. Let's see, we're doing a shortened Leo, a slightly shortened Celtic cross for you today, and we'll come back through, clarify, we'll get a few cards looking at current position, what's just passed, where you're at the moment, and moving forward, and yeah, we'll clarify those, get a journey map card from my own deck at the end with a Brian Froud Pixie and Fairy as a little light element. Oh, wow. At the end, as she said, light element at the end. Let's get a crossing card for this central point and a basis. We'll talk about that briefly before we go through. One more card for the basis of this situation for lovely Leo. Okay, we come flying out of the starting gate, out of the whatever it is, with the amazing and one of my favourite cards, the beautiful Tower, this eye of enlightenment, knowledge, clarity, new information, a blast of electrical energy that really it's blasting, it's blowing, it's connecting in other areas, and it's crossed by the beautiful three of discs, which is about building foundations. So on one hand you've got this explosion of sorts, yet remember with this explosion of the Tower that new insights and clarity and new information comes through at the same time. And at the same time, we see this incredibly stable pyramid that's wheeled up, it's on wheels, it's moving, it's creating solid foundations out of this, I guess, out of what's been gleaned from the beautiful Tower. Building new foundations with collaboration is the emphasis on, because we're pulling resources in, we're pulling different people in here that help us create something that we feel passionate about, that we want to create in order to move forward again. Now, in the process of doing this, the basis of this situation is that you have been in review. Now, the Queen of Discs here sits up high on that mountain, this Capricornian card, the Queen of Discs, and she is reviewing. She reviews. We had, it's taken a while to get to this point. She's a queen. She's a queen now. She looks back over the savannah, this landscape, this oases. There are oases, there are deserts, there are flourishing, fertile zones also. So the basis of this current situation that seems to be, this sort of explosion of probably a lot of old stuff that you don't need, and a reconfiguration and a building up of something new for you after or during this period where the Queen really does review where she's been and, in fact, where she wants to go. So it's pretty interesting, Leo. So let's see what's behind you. Wow, what's behind you currently? what's behind you, which I am assuming, just on the off chance here, what's behind you is the Hierophant, esoteric information, a download of information, often spiritual in nature. To put it, to put it in a nutshell, this is behind you. Also, may have been seen by the Queen, obviously was, I think, because there are elements of the past journeying which were necessary to get this information coming through. From the Hierophant, people often look at this card and see it as institutions, establishment, the church, things of that nature. To me, in these times, it is a spiritual downloads. We are becoming more multi-sensory than just our 5 or 6 senses now. And I think the Tower is definitely a part of why this fellow, this beautiful Hierophant, appeared for you. Big jobs here, big large elements of new information have come to you. And I do suspect, if I remember correctly, Leo, that the last Leo readings leading up to the full moon, the last one, that the Hierophant was in there, moving forward in that one. So here maybe we've had a few downloads since that reading, but let's continue. So this is amazing. It's all about building new foundations. So we get one card right. I think we had that in that one too. I can't remember, but at the current point in time, we have the Hermit. So, this is a great opportunity. Look, for Leos, I mean, I'm generalizing here because it is general, obviously looking at particular astrological signs and doing readings for them. I mean, I would highly recommend that you look at what your moon, Venus, Jupiter, and your ascendant is, because to get an overview is quite interesting. Your ascendant is probably even more important than the star sign. So even if Leo's your rising sign, it's great to look at the Leo readings. But anyway, I digress. So we get in the current position the Hermit, which is about going inward. It's not about, removing yourself for months necessarily and going into a cabin, on the top of a hill. We can be in our Hermit zone very much whilst in some ways we don't have the luxury so much of being able to just disappear so much, not always, some of us maybe, but most of us not, to disappear into a cabin in the woods, in the forest, in the bush, to go inwards. But we can do this in our world. We can make a choice to look inwards, to shine our light inwards, because if we've just had this incredible review with the Queen of Discs and this injection of sorts from the Hierophant, this is sort of spiritual, and I don't mean spiritual in terms of, I'm not speaking religion specifics, spiritual, personal information that is intrinsically for you, that is intrinsically understood by you, by your internal intuitive core, by your spirit. Then we make a choice because there's a guidance indicator here that it's a really good thing to come into the Hermit and just to shine a light internally, to look at some of those areas within ourselves. Anyway, I was clutching the tower there. I think this is an amazing reading. It's really charged up. So moving forward, and then we'll go and clarify, Leo. Moving forward, just holding my breath. Well, we get what? We had that. We've got 3 moving forward, so we'll read them the way that they came out here. So as I say, you know, with the Hermit going in after this injection of amazing kind of insight, whether it's personal insight or whether it's general insight, this is where we clarify that insight. Moving forward, where we understand it. Moving forward, we see the moon, many dark pools that we're not necessarily aware of in the moon card. Subconscious, unconscious. Sometimes through the Hermit, we are enabled to understand elements of this within ourselves. We're shining the light in these dark pools here. But the second card that came out, because in order to fully embody Leo, to fully embody this queen, which is you, and you know this because there are elements of this reading that were in the last one. You know this. You know it. In order to embody this fully, which is you, this is you, this queen of this fiery, willful queen, impassioned, creative, with her familiar beside her on the throne, just to remind her of all of the things that she has jumped over, burst through, challenged herself with in order to get to this point. That large feline is a reminder of those things. So she is not putting that gorgeous wand. She's not going to put it out there for anyone or lay it down or anything. She's got her hand well and truly around it. Anyway, I'm getting a bit carried away with this because it is really sort of impassioned. Now you know this. Like, there are elements in this reading that are almost like an extension of the last reading, I think. I feel that, if my memory serves me well. Anyway, so there we have the Hermit. If we move from this current time, the Hermit's shining the light here. Moving forward, we understand the full importance of remembering what that feline familiar is to us, Leo. Poof, it's really powerful. And so we take our queendom, we accept it. We embody it. Yes, give me that. Yes, place that crown upon my head. I am the Queen of Wands, Leo. And then we get the 8 of Wands, very wandy. The 8 of Wands, there's something about this reading that as soon as you accept that crown, excuse me, all we need to do first is just shine the light in some of those little dark pools there. you'll feel more comfortable about sitting on your throne, accepting the crown. Now, once you do that, remembering, God, I'm repeating myself, I know it, but I'm getting really excited about this, because as soon as you sit there comfortably, knowing that you deserve to sit there, or deserve's not the right word maybe, but that is your place, that is your seat. That is when not only are there arrows of communication bounding forth out there to the people around you, but it speeds up your trajectory of sorts. Now, none of us know what's in the future. Some of us barely can remember what was in the past, in fact. It's all very subjective for any individual. Somehow, this comfort in taking your own throne is going to speed things up, is going to allow you new information via, I just get that feeling, via other people. Something's going to come back. Somehow it's coming back. I don't know what that is, but we'll get... It's a very exciting read. It's really exciting. I can really feel it, like, really exciting reading here, Leo. Let's see the information. Oh, look, well, it is a whole new, that just came out. So it's a whole new spin of the wheel. It's a whole new cycle, dear Leo. Let's see if the Hierophant oh, hang on. What are we interested in here? Let's see what the Hierophant... No, the Hierophant's passed. Let's look at the Hermit here, shining the internal light. Shining an internal light. This is an energetic... everything's about energy, I know. But I do feel this is in regards... Now, in regards to... Yeah, it was that noise, wasn't it? In the other reading. Pretty sure it was really noisy. The Hermit. So some clarity of the Hermit is that in some way you've either realized that the offerings, the emotional, energetic offerings I'm talking about, have been very... this is one aspect of shining, of understanding where the light is shining and what you're seeing, is that these small offerings, this is the Prince of Cups. It's an awkward adolescent offering of a kind of flappy fish. Now that's, fine and dandy. And it is an offering. But is it an offering that you really want to accept now? I'm not suggesting for anyone watching this that this is a real general reading, but it has a very specific direction. The Prince of Cups could be aspects of yourself or aspects of someone in your life. I would imagine that with the Hermit here, it indicates that maybe you're seeing that, you've accepted emotional offerings that really, they weren't satisfying or right or enough for you. Honestly, there's certainly not enough for a queen. So that's kind of interesting. Let's look at this 8 of Wands. I find that that something is sort of, it does feel like something coming back to you. Something coming back to you, and speed of messaging here. Speed of messaging. Something. 8 of Wands, please. Can I just see the 8? Clarify the 8 of Wands. Wow. Something coming back to you, my friends. Leo. Look. We get... Don't be alarmed. Justice is wonderful. She's got one sword and one sword only. This is about rebalancing. It's really about rebalancing. And look, I do hear it. Wrongs made right. Whatever that wrongs made right, whatever that's about. I think what I do feel, more than think, is that you accepting your throne, dear Leo, your crown. It's not the mere act that makes you a queen in doing that. I'm not saying this in the right way. It's not the fact that you're sitting on a throne. It's that you've chosen. You've been given an opportunity to. You've understood what it requires to do that, and you are doing it, if that makes sense. This is really quite a full-on reading. We'll just get a journey map. We'll get a journey map and a Brian Froud Pixie and Fairy from the Pixie and Fairy Oracle. Well, it couldn't be any more pertinent. Out of explosive activity, with the Tower in the central position, crossed by, I must say, the collaborative card of building new foundations. We get the card of Eruption, which is very similar to the Tower, but we see a ladder. Now, the ladder is curved. It really does describe the paradoxical nature of life, because from an eruption, that kind of, may have heard a few rumblings and then suddenly ba-boom. But from this, we get, like the product, the thing that comes out of an eruption. If we look at obsidian, it's this beautiful cut glass. This amazing transformation occurs with the lava touching, being kind of purified, baptized or transformed, you could almost say, by the salt water. And there we have this amazing faceted crystal, this obsidian. There are amazing clarity and strength and insight comes from these things. This is why the Queen can take the throne, because she's been through it all. Dear Leo, can we just get a Pixie and Fairy card just to top it off? It's a bit of lightness at the end of this amazing reading. It's just gifted. Look, I'm surprised that the Magician hasn't turned up in this reading. Wow, I'm going to get one more card. I love that card. I'm amazed that the Magician hasn't popped out somewhere in here for you, Leo. Sorry. We get two beautiful cards, and in some ways they're one and the same, or one of them just kind of renewed a few extra cells First card, the 6, the Singer of Connection. These are divine energies coming down from and through the crown. It's a connection. It's either your connection with others or with one other, or you understanding, realizing in the full value of your connections with others. And with that, we get here the fiery sword. It is an ace of swords of sorts, this card. It is about truth. It's about, this is just like straight down the middle. It's an electrical charge. It's clarity. It's new perspective. It's beautiful, Leo. It's amazing, and it does feel like some extension. Some extension. It's very interesting. Look, lovely Leos, I hope you got something out of this reading today. And Time and Tides will be up later on tomorrow for this new moon in Pisces on the 13th of March. So I hope this finds you well, and take good care, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, Leos. Bye.